How's it going, everyone? My name is TheStarkz, and welcome to another The Last of Us Part 2 video. Today I've got an exciting one. I know there's been so much buzz within this past couple of days that I've sadly missed out on. I know there's just been so much, and unfortunately I've been, dealing with other things, so I haven't been able to really focus my time and energy onto making a YouTube video. However, yesterday on Twitter I did announce that I would have another part 2 video up. Now, this wasn't the part 2 video I wanted to make, but after searching up some content for the part 2, I figured, hey, this is more relevant. I'll talk about this and tie it into the other stuff. So this article is from comicbook.com. by Tyler Fisher, and he states, or the title states, that The Last of Us Part 2 actor says it's the best game ever. Now, now this is from the article, of course, but although we might not be getting The Last of Us Part 2 this year, but it's still one of the most most anticipated games announced right now. There's not many games with more hype around it than PlayStation 4 sequel, arguably, but alas, with Sony skipping E3 this year, we may not get an update from it and Naughty Dog on the title anytime soon. That said, voice actor on the project Ian Alexander, who is playing Lev in the game, recently described his experience working on the Naughty Dog project, and according to Alexander himself, it's the best game ever. And obviously this could be looked at as a little biased or hyperbolic, but it's still somewhat of a compliment. Alexander also called the experience of working on the game accelerating, inspirational, and life-changing, again suggesting Naughty Dog has something special on its hands, just like it did with the first game. Now, here is a tweet from Ian himself, and he states, or they state, I couldn't narrow it down, so here are my top 3, after a fan, I'll put the link or the screenshot on the video, but a person asked Ian, hey, can you describe your experience working on The Last of Us Part 2 in 3 words? In which Ian stated, hey, I couldn't narrow it down, so here are my top 3. 1 being the best game ever, 2 accelerating, inspiring, and life-changing, and 3 more chosen family. So this is cool. This was about a week ago from today, today is Wednesday, the day I'm recording this. I don't know if this is going to go up today, but we'll see. I'll make it happen. So again, it's obviously not uncommon for an actor to talk up their project, but to go to the extent to call something life-changing and the best game ever really does suggest that Alexander feels this way truly, which should have PlayStation gamers looking forward to the sequel very excited. It's also worth pointing out that Alexander isn't the first person to talk about the game this way. The Last of Us Part 2 has been in development for the PlayStation 4 and possibly the PlayStation 5. At the moment of publishing this article, as well as this video, of course, there's been no word regarding a release date, but new claims have suggested an early 2020 release for The Last of Us Part 2. So that's it for the article, and now here's my opinion. One thing I do want to say is, although the article mentioned how Sony's skipping E3, we might not get an update. I disagree. I think we are going to get an update. It's been rumored that we're supposed to get one this week or even next week. My bet is on a June 14th release or some kind of update for The Last of Us Part 2, as well as Ghost of Tsushima, which are 2 games that are supposedly coming out in 2020, which is unfortunate because, again, this was one of the videos I wanted to make, how The Last of Us Part 2 was internally delayed based off of Death Stranding being released in November 8th. Or expected to release November 8th of 2019, which internally pushed The Last of Us Part 2, unfortunately, to 2020. Although we don't know nothing about Death Stranding at all. But I'm not going to talk about that video, or I might later. But anyhow, this is exciting, obviously, to just hear one of the actors and people work on the project very, speaking of this game in high value and high quality, and talking about how it's going to be the best game ever. And obviously, this could be considered biased and whatever, but I think people who do work on a project, some are truthful, some are not, and I don't think Ian would go out of his way to to pretend as though it's the best game ever and he feels differently. That'd be weird. But I have confidence in Naughty Dog. We've seen everything they've done in the past, and whatever message they have in the game, I know I'm gonna love it because I like Naughty Dog. But anyhow, that's it for today. Very, very sweet and short. Just just talking about The Last of Us Part 2, just an update on the content here as well. I have a couple things I've wanted to make. Again, I am doing a The Last of Us Road to Part 2 video on the official PlayStation Source channel with my my good friend and host of that channel, Kevin Diaz. So make sure to check that out. And with that being said, I have been TheStarkz. Peace.